like we do it, like we do
I'm a
it.
little bit of an all-rounder. So I do, all the wedding planning side of things, but from the initial consultation right up until the actual event management on the day. I also manage all of the social media accounts and a bit of an office lady as well. So doing that kind of thing. So I'm a bit of an all-rounder.
Bit of an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Just doing everything.
I may as well.
Yeah, why not?
But primarily wedding planner. That's what I'm there for, and that's what I love doing. So that's me.
How did you get into this?
It was a bit of default actually. So my husband, well, my partner at the time, he proposed, and we had a 2-year engagement, which I had so much fun planning our wedding. We had a Pinterest wedding, like nice. Pinterest circa 2014.
Love it.
Burlap and lace.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nick called it Hessian and doilies. But yeah.
Well, this is just a fun word to say. So continue.
And then once we had been married, I had major post-wedding blues, and didn't know what to do with myself. I was a travel agent and hated it. Absolutely hated it. I loved, talking to people, and I love selling travel, but I really struggled with, other aspects of that industry. So I was looking for something else. Okay. And then my husband was working as a chef at one of our other venues. And we knew that they had purchased the farm and that they were doing it up and that they were looking for someone. And I kind of just put my hand up and said, I'd love it if you gave me a go. And they did. And that's kind of how it all happened. And I'm just so thankful that they gave me a go, because no official training other than my Pinterest board. And I just literally feel like I just fell into it. Right place, right time.
So you started out as a travel manager agent, getting people flying holidays around the world. Yep. So planning's in your blood. Yep. You're all over planning. But the farm, you're saying, is the first venue you've ever managed.
Yes. Yeah. So really? I'm also, I'm technically not the venue manager either. I'm just the wedding planner, but the management side of things has kind of happened by default as well, just by, people coming and going and me absorbing the duties, which I'm absolutely happy to do. So it's first venue that I've been at, first time being a wedding planner. And I literally, the way that I tackled it was do it the way that I would want to be treated and the way that I would have wanted my day to go, or things that didn't happen on my day that I wish they did, or things that I wanted to experience, or how I wanted to be treated. I didn't get treated that way. So I, in turn, try and help my couples through that. So that's how it all happened.
Well, let me just state for the fact, I know I've said this to you, I think I Instagrammed to you last year sometime, but in terms of talking about the farm and in talking about how you do your role, every couple I talk to, and I will state again, every couple I talk to love you. No. They love the farm and they love you. I love the farm. It's got a great feel, atmosphere. It's a perfect size. It's this beautiful gift in this package. It's great. But how you treat your couples reflects, like, they have a great experience, and they every time talk to couples, like, where have you booked? Oh, we booked at the farm. Like, how's it going? Like, great, Anthea's fantastic. Like, people honestly speak so highly of you, and I'm not making that up. I'm not just putting it on. You genuinely have a great way with couples, so that's why I'm sort of surprised. I'm like, this is your first wedding planner, because you are incredible at it.
Oh wow!
So really, I take that, particularly in a time where we don't get to do what we love because of COVID. But you're great at what you do. So
wow. You just made my day. Thank you so much.
Good.
It means the world. Thank you.
No, it's good. You do a great job. So I'm fantastic. So travel manager to wedding. So wedding planner is your official title, but you kind of just do everything. And so tell us And tell those who might not know about the farm, because some couples might be listening to this now and they're starting to Google it. Tell us a little bit about the farm, a bit about its history and why couples choose it as well.
Absolutely. So the farm, we are just coming out to our 4th birthday of being open. So we haven't actually been around for all that long. So the farm is part of an umbrella of 4 businesses, all of which are open to the public, but none of which compete with each other. We're all different in terms of what we offer. So under that umbrella, and they're all in the area as well. So there is the Suburban in Ringwood.
Love it. I do a lot of my meetings there too. Yes,
it's really pretty there. The rooftop, especially on like Sunday afternoon with a bit of Pimm's.
Come on.
That's my jam.
Yep.
Then the public brewery in Croydon, which is where I go for fried chicken and cider. And then Beckendale's Cafe in Croydon as well. So Beckendale's is what started everything. It was Beck and Dale. So a lot of people know Dale White in Warrandyte. He's just one of those people that everybody knows, dreadlocks. Yeah. Well, not anymore, but he started Beckendale's and had a passion for beer and good food and people and communal dining and all this kind of thing. And he actually wanted a space where the community could come together and share a meal. And that's really how it came about. So the farm is the old All Smiles of the Yarra Valley, which, again, a lot of people have been to, but since coming back as the farm, don't recall any of the details because they've renovated it, beyond an inch of its life. Well,
the nip and tuck has done a great, I don't know what it looked like before, but it looks fantastic now.
They've done a great job. It's absolutely crazy. Like the building itself has been all kinds of different things, but my absolute favourite piece of history that's there is it used to be an egg farm. So there was, however many squillions of chickens running around and scratching through the venue. But on the other side of the venue is the Rob Dolan Winery, whom has the Salador there and whom I'm drinking their Cab Sav tonight. Delish. Oh, my God, they're the best. So they have in the winery all of their beans and infrastructure out the back there is this horrible yellow. And we had a garden party once and there was a gentleman just wandering around out there and you're not allowed to go out there. So I kind of chased him down and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I'm out here." He said, "I used to work here when it was the egg farm and I painted those rafters. And the reason I picked that yellow is because it's called egg yolk yellow." so there's a reason behind the fugly yellow beans at the back.
That's so good.
Yeah. So, that's kind of how it's had a lot of different hats, but we've been lucky enough to call that place home for about 4 years.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's why you painted it yellow. Did you tell him what you thought about it?
Yeah. No, I was very polite.
You just said, "Well, it's the colour has lasted throughout all the decades."
It's certainly very prominent still.
Yeah. So tell us about why do you feel like couples choose the farm? Because the journey for couples is probably the first thing the couples look for is the venue, because then that determines the date, that determines the venue capacity in terms of all their friends and family, determines photos. Are they going to have to go somewhere else to a different location? Why do people pick the farm? Or maybe some common reasons that you hear.
I think, it's obviously quite picturesque. Like, you know that from the second you come over the driveway and you see it, propped up on the hill there. It's beautifully picturesque. I think they choose us for a couple of reasons. The vibe, I think, that we kind of portray, as a business. I think we are, although we do offer a premium product, I don't wear a pantsuit. I'm chill.
No, you don't. You don't wear it. I haven't seen you in a pantsuit.
No. I'm often in floral dresses and sneakers, and I think that, a wedding, you don't have to have all of the real hoity-toity, fancy top-end stuff to create a beautiful day. So I think I try and express to our couples that we're still delivering a premium product, that you're going to want to relive this day after day after day, because it's magical. But it's not pretentious. And I think that people are looking for that. I really think people are looking for that. Also, communal dining is all on trend, you know. If you look at any of our reviews, everyone comments about how incredible the food is, because they've done an exceptional job with it. And the damn potatoes out of everything, like these boys, they put the lamb in the oven like 36 hours beforehand, and then it hits the table and it falls off, and everybody, you know, it's amazing. But then these friggin' potatoes hit the table and everyone's like, the potatoes! Like, it's just, it's absolute madness, but it's warranted. The potatoes are fucking amazing, but
it's like the meat is cooked perfection, but the potatoes.
That's exactly what happens. Like, they don't realize that the lamb went in the oven 3 days ago. It's these damn potatoes that just came out of the fry. Anyway.
Look, I've had the privilege of eating there once. I've done one MC there.
Yeah.
And you told me, you go, enjoy the food. And I'm like, cool, I'm looking forward to it. Blown away. Like, even to the point that even the salad, which was like a carrot, I think it was a carrot honey glaze, and it had some goat's cheese or something, that it's like one of the best salads I've ever eaten. That was just the salad. Like, it wasn't even the potatoes.
Yeah.
So yes, the food is unbelievable.
They've done such an amazing job, and that for us is one of the most important things, and it's what the whole venue is about. Our creator, Dale, anytime I ask him, what image do you think best describes us, when I'm looking at Instagram and things like that, and every time he says, I just want you to put up photos of people sharing a meal. That's what's important to him, and I with everything that's in me believe that the food is one thing that sets us apart, truly.
Have you ever put a picture just of the potatoes up?
I don't know if I put one up just of the potatoes on Instagram, but I'm almost certain there might be one in the wedding pack.
Fantastic.
I think
it's a selling point.
It absolutely is.
It's like, you've seen the barn, you've seen the view, here's the potatoes.
Yeah.
That's when they sign.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like that. So Dale really is the inspiration behind it all.
Definitely. Yeah, he definitely is.
It's really interesting. I think I've met him once in passing, or I've at least seen him. I think he was doing a meeting one time at the Suburban. I was talking to someone there. Anyway, cool.
He's
I love
always around.
I love that he's the inspiration. That, I guess that's what you'd want from any venue, is it comes from the creator's vision. That's the whole reason they put it there. Like, it's more than a money maker. It's the experience that he's really wanting to pass on, and he's successfully doing that very well.
Yeah, he is, and a lot of us do it for him, you know. And you know, using produce from our own gardens, like Dale and his wife and their son Billy are out there almost every day, you know, tending to the gardens that we pick our produce from. So it all comes back.
You grow most of the food, or some of the food, or
we grow as much as we can. With the volume of weddings that we do, it would be, you know, there's no way we would be able to produce the produce that we need to sustain it, but we get what we can, and we use every inch of it, of the garden. So but if it's not from our garden, or if it's close to properties, we can, using, you know, always local suppliers, ethically sourced. So yeah,
cool. I guess one thing I really want to help convey to couples and that are to help give them an understanding of particular things that they might not know from the professionals, from those who are in this every day. I guess what are some things that you wish couples would know when it comes to weddings? And it can be specific to the farm if you want it to be, but as a wedding planner, what are some things that you usually find maybe you spend a lot of time explaining to couples, or just find it's a big surprise to them? Yeah, just to help couples who are currently planning.
To be completely honest, the questions that I received throughout the months of planning are so varied. It's I genuinely don't feel like I get the same question repeatedly, which is interesting, because coming into this, I would have assumed that I would have needed to have created a frequently asked questions document. And in all honesty, I started one, but by the time I got up to 4 pages and 106 questions, I'm like, bugger this for a bunch of bananas. I'm just going to answer them.
Sure.
So what I kind of did, like specifically looking at the farm, is when I do conduct my tours, and any of the people that are listening who have booked with me will know that when they come in to visit the venue, I do things quite differently. I spend 45 minutes and I talk away at them without any breaths, none. I turn slightly blue. And I go through absolutely everything they need to know about getting married at the farm specifically, so that when they leave, they can make an educated decision, what works, what might not work. So for me, I genuinely don't get the same bulk of questions that come through. The only information that I find really helpful when I'm conducting the tours is the kind of vibe that they want to create. So which sounds a bit odd, but if the couple are after something quite formal and quite regimented, and hand behind the back silver service kind of vibe, alternating drop, which is perfectly fine for some people, that's not us, and I'm never going to be able to deliver that product. So I always ask, one of my first questions when I ask couples is, what's the vibe they want to create? Do you want something that's relatively chill? Do you want everybody to be out underneath the festoon lights mingling and hanging out, or do you actually want to dance floor? Do you want to do the bouquet toss and stuff like that? I would love couples to come in armed with the vibe that they want, because that will really help to determine their perfect venue.
Okay, cool. What do you find, is there I find with my couples that I guess find me and want to meet, and that the common trend would be they want a relaxed, chilled out, I guess we're talking ceremony as well, like relaxed, chilled out ceremony that still has, it has humor and has, we have a fun time, it still has this touch of sentimentality, like they don't want to lose, this beautiful reason why they're there, but they just don't want it to get all Disney and weird and mushy, because it's like they just want something that just feels natural and genuine. Do you find, is there some similar traits that you find what couples are looking for and why they book the farm?
100%. Like, most of the couples that come through the door are after something relatively chill, but with still the formalities involved. One of the most beautiful receptions that I've been part of, they wanted things that were relatively chill, and she was pregnant, so obviously different vibe again, because there's no heavy drinking, there's no shots with the bride up at the bar, it was relatively mellow. And although they weren't trying to create a feeling of romance, for some reason it just happened organically. And I think that the mood that the family were in, it was the first grandbaby. It was, everyone was just so excited. And although there was excitement, it just kind of organically turned into this beautiful romantic evening. And it was absolutely stunning. And they didn't put any effort into it. It was just how the mood was for the evening. And I think that was the combination of her being pregnant and the family being really excited. And I'm candle fiend. I lit as many candles as I could possibly get my hands on. Like, it was just madness. But I think, you know, I more often than not, our couples are after something that is relatively chill.
Cool. What are you thinking about on the day?
Oh my God. No.
Too big of a question.
I have been described more than once as a duck on water, which coincidentally is my favorite animal of all time. My God, I love ducks. I get like emotional even thinking about that. Pete, I can't even tell you. I love ducks so much.
That's actually, I've just said that's quite ironic, because it was at the farm that somebody came to me, an uncle came up after me and said, this is after a ceremony, and I felt like I'd done pretty well. I was like, I feel like I nailed that one. One of the uncle came up and he said, mate, you're as smooth as duck shit. I was like, that's possibly the best compliment I've ever been given.
An absolute ripper. Oh
so good. God. So good.
So yes, there are many a duck around.
So you love ducks, and people have said, okay, yes, all right.
I'm a duck on water.
Yep. Okay.
So I am constantly thinking about everything, honestly, everything from, you know, I'm there setting up in the morning, so making sure that the florist is on time and that the DJ is setting up in the left corner versus the right corner, because that's what they wanted. Yep. Down to guests arriving, making sure that, you know, I'm thinking about their cars, are the cars in the right spot, and have they turned off their friggin' headlights? Like, from that to, you know, getting the bride out of the car and making sure mum's not left behind, or wrangling my staff. The kids are absolutely incredible, but making sure that they're standing in the right position, but not that, making sure they're on the photographer's back shoulder, not on their front shoulder, to making sure that, you know, I help the bride get down the aisle, so I'm wrangling the bridal party and making sure that guests aren't walking up the hill, or the groom hasn't decided he needs to pee real quick. And then, Pete, you would know I cue the celebrant as well, so I make sure that that's happening effectively. Yeah,
yep.
I know where he is.
Someone needs to do it.
Oh my God, I just did a finger gun. I've never done that before in my life. Oh my God,
it was disgusting. It's worse than this mow.
Oh my God, gross. My brain on a wedding day is literally non-stop. I'm thinking about everything. I'm always looking around. I'm very hard to pin down for a conversation on a wedding day, because I'm constantly just moving around and thinking, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I think I'm a control freak, and I don't mean to be, but it's not because I like the control. I like things to turn out the best way that they possibly could, and if that means that I have to oversee every and all element, then so be it. So, and to be completely honest, by the time I'm in bed, I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
My husband often nudges me, being like, whatever it is, just drop it.
He can just feel you thinking, just little duck feet going, and he's just like, just chill out there, mighty ducks.
I radiate.
Yeah.
So, very good question. Anything and everything and constant.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Look, it's good to know. Even I'm interested in knowing what people think. Like, it's from asking different suppliers. It's good for me to go. I think Briggsy's is probably one of the funniest ones. And I think you listened to the chat I had with him. And it just makes sense. You see him on the day and his eyes are darting everywhere. And I just thought,
it spoke volumes to me too.
Yeah, he's got pure ADD. Like, he's having a great time. And he's like, nah, I'm looking for things. And he's like, I'm like, of course he is. Like, of course, yeah.
He's looking.
So
what do you think about, Pete?
It changes throughout the time. So first, getting there and setting up and wanting to find out even if it's the same venue, there's like at the farm, there's multiple places you can get married. You can get married inside and get married under the tree, and get married at the barn. You can get married on that sort of flat plain, like there's so many different places. So it's finding out where I'm going. But before I've already arrived, I've done a couple hours of prep of the ceremony. Like I've read through the ceremony. I've listened to it like 3-4 times beforehand. Someone's listened to a ceremony like up to an hour. That's a long time listening to yourself talk, but it's just to get it in my brain and to think, how can I say this better? It's like, can I say that in a funnier way? Can I say that in a deeper way? Can I mix? Can I twist that little, like just finding out how can I make this sound better? And then when I'm there, you know, names are obviously a huge thing. I have to be over names, have to be, you know, that's what I've got to do. And so names are a big thing. But then, you know, for me, I'm thinking about where's the audience at and how do I get them to the next stage? Or it's just me coasting right alongside them. If they're, because some, you know, some couples, friends and family show up and they're party since they woke up. You wouldn't want them to go any more crazy or they'll burn the place down. And it's just coming alongside that and having an awesome wedding. And then there are some ones where you've got to build it up, but you can't build it up in a forceful way. Otherwise it's sort of like, don't tell me to get excited. I'll get excited when I get excited. So it's about this, giving them a reason to get excited and just being and playing with the atmosphere and enjoying it.
Well, honestly, Pete, from, you know, the first wedding that you did, I don't know if it was on the steps or whether that was just the first one that I recall being fully engaged in. And I remember standing there watching you, and you're in your beautiful suit with your bow tie. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I laughed when you made a joke, because it was hilarious. Good, and I shed a little tear when you got a little bit mushy. And I felt as though I had been involved in the process of their wedding and being, you know, I felt closer to them because of you and the way that you portrayed the ceremony. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And it wasn't long after that we put you on our Friends of the Farm list because of that moment. So for anybody that's listening that hasn't booked a celebrant yet, here's your guy.
Oh, thank you. I remember when you came up, it was at a
vendor night or something.
It was a vendor night. It was coming up to the expo night, and you were being the main venue, like sponsor to it as well.
Yeah.
And it was near the end of the night or something, and you came up and you said, Pete, how would you feel if we put you on our Friends of the Farm list? Would that be okay? And I don't know if I squealed like a 13-year-old girl, but inside I did. And it was
it was very diplomatic. You did very well.
I was pretty excited. I was like, I'll think about it. No, I was like, hell yeah, like, let's do this. I love the reputation of the farm, and I love to think that you know, I'm at that level, at that place, because I think what you guys do, and it's fantastic. I love when couples say, hey, we're getting married at the farm, and I'm like, I won't even charge you, just let me come along and hang out. But then I remember I've got to feed kids and all that. Yes, I want potatoes. That's all I want, just a pocket full of potatoes, and I'm done. I'm happy. It's been a good done.
I'll marry anyone.
Good day. Take them home with the kids. So you go, kids. They'd never make it home. I'd eat them before. One thing I remember you mentioning, and I've told a few other brides this, and it's been a great benefit, is the getting out of the car at the ceremony. Because even I think of it, you know, and I think we all think we have this running sort of video in our head. This is what it's going to look like. This is what I want it to look like, you know. Yeah. And, you know, particularly when it's on the stairs, not so much at the barn because you walk and enjoy, but at the stairs, you're going to have everyone sitting, you know, either sides or standing either sides, and up the walkway, the aisle. And so it's almost like perfect, like the car rolls up, the door opens, and they just magically step out. And you pointed out to me that you were going to recommend that the bride actually gets out just before where the trees were, or that she gets out on the other side of the car. And I remember asking, like, why is that? And you said, well, look, it's never as graceful as you imagine it will be.
Mm-hmm.
And it clicked. It was like, yeah, it's hard enough to get out of a car in general, but it's like, not that I've worn a wedding dress, but I can imagine that even that's not going to be easy to get out of a car. And I think that it's those little tips and little thoughts, just the experience that you have. You want to make this as great as you can for the bride, and you want to make sure that in that moment it doesn't look like someone awkwardly trying to climb out of a car, but rather she can just do this really nice, graceful walk up there and still have that same impact with just helping adjust the reality of that. So what would be some other things that, maybe some other tips that you might have for couples on how they can, anything, I'll leave very open. What are some tips for couples?
Well, I mean, that's definitely one thing, that, getting out of the car thing, that seems the most obvious thing when you say it out loud, but you just don't think about these things. That's definitely one of my favorites to make sure couples have considered.
Yeah.
To be honest, I genuinely want couples to trust their vendors and to ask the questions about vendors, about their vendors and what their vendors recommend. I suppose from a venue's perspective, one thing that I always try and tell my couples is our receptions are quite long as part of our standard inclusions. So our reception is 6 hours, which is quite long. And although we're licensed until midnight, I often find that it's actually better to shift everything forward so that they're finishing a little bit earlier in the evening, because the best piece of advice I have is that, and I don't know if you've noticed this now that you're emceeing as well, but I'm finding that people aren't as loyal as they used to be with weddings. If they're tired, they'll go home. That's what we're finding. So I always suggest to couples that you, as awful as it is to say, you actually want your guests to be super bummed that the wedding's just finished. Like you want horses, John Farnham, you're the voice, everybody on the dance floor. Like you want that dance floor to be huge, and that is your last song, and everybody is singing "Come On Eileen," and then the wedding ends and it's like, fuck, wedding's over, like let's go to Macca's, I want a kebab, like where's the after party? You want that, as opposed to people like shuffling side to side being like, fuck, will these two just go home?
We get it, you love each other.
So I know that there's this thing about going to midnight on a wedding, but I don't get it. There's the finish on a high, finish when everybody is still having the best time, as opposed to that awkward 11:59 p.m. shuffle where they're like, God damn, go home. So I think my best piece of advice is end on a high, and don't try and extend every single second out of it, because although it does fly, for your guests as well, keeping in mind that they've been there for a long time as well. So consider other options, and also be open to a Friday wedding. The vibe on Fridays are bloody amazing.
True that. You get, people get off work and like, yes, I can already start drinking, and
Friday afternoon, everyone's ready for a drink. Everyone's ready for a boogie. Like the staff at the farm, the kids, they bloody love Friday weddings. They love them because everybody walks down the deck ready for a party. It's the best. And plus, wedding weekend, like, come on.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah.
I really agree. I 100% agree with that. With my emceeing, that you'd see, if normally you finish by, I don't know, 11:30 or, just before 12. And most people, particularly, your older grandparents and that, about that 9:30, they're about ready to say, see you later. But then it's about that maybe 10, you start to see a pretty big exodus. And I think you can get the same effect end it maybe a little bit earlier, get everyone, like, as you say, end on this, like, what? It's ending now? But this is incredible.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what you want.
for those who want to kick on, say, hey, we booked this place, or we're going to go
and
down.
it's early enough. It's
Yep.
early enough for you to do an after party. If
Yep.
it's 10:30, 11, you can go, you know, have that suite at the hotel nearby, and everybody come back there because it's early enough to do it. So you can kick on for those that want to kick on. You're so right. So right.
Better to do the farewell, whether it's like in even just some people do it in the circle, some do it in like the line where they're like some do sparklers, which is I always feel is dangerous, but it's still great. You know, running out mainly because I've had one sparkler incident. I'll tell it's to do with Kate Mack. I'll tell that another time. But it's you know, people, you know, it's that chance for saying goodbye, and it's like this public farewell of this incredible celebration of a day. You know, it's this, everyone's been there, celebrated together, what an event, and they're ending it, rather than if it pushes on too long, what it looks like is from that 10:30, the bride and groom are just constantly saying goodbye to one person after the other. And it's like people just like stand in this awkward, like, we're just waiting to say goodbye. We've got kids, the babysitter and all that.
That's it.
And it's like you almost, the couple loses like an hour or something just saying goodbye to people who can't wait until the end.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. And like also another thing that, you know, when I'm talking to my couples about what they want, a lot of the time they're shocked when I say, you know, you don't have to do all of the traditions of a wedding. You don't have to. Like, if you don't want to get introduced, don't get introduced. Everyone knows who you are. Like, if you don't want to do it, you don't do it. Like, my hubby and I didn't do it. For us, it was awkward turtle. We just didn't. I did not want my bouquet to go up in the air like that. That wasn't us. So, you know, we, our lovely MC, so we walked in with our guests. We all stood standing. Our MC did a beautiful toast, and then we all sat down, and that was job done. And you know, you don't have to cut a cake. You can have a cake. You don't have to fucking cut it. Like, just eat it. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do all of the traditions. It's your day. You do you. Yeah,
cool. That was Paula Christie from The Small Things. That was her thing. She was like, just do you. Yeah, she was like, in all you think, she's like, just be you as a couple.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Any tips on how couples can be themselves on the day?
I do always suggest just taking 5 of the 2 of them, even if, you know, if they do get introduced, even if it's just a couple of minutes before that, to take 5 and to just absorb what's going on, but also eat. My God, eat. Have your canapes. You know, try something that's really important to us at the farm is that the bridal party get followed around with canapes during canapé hour. They don't miss out. So we literally ram them down their throat because
you will eat.
That's it. You will eat, and you spend your time picking your wine. Drink your wine. Like, actually enjoy everything. And I think food in general does a lot for people. We come together and we eat, and it, you know, so much emotion can be delivered through food. So I genuinely think that ways that couples can be present is by enjoying the things that they have chosen to enjoy on the day. Enjoy your food. Have a look at your table settings. You picked them. Enjoy it. You know, you get just before your guests come in, have a look. Like, you know, I think that utilizing the things, use your lawn games, use your Polaroid cameras, you know, just because you've got that big white dress on and that snazzy suit doesn't mean you can't get and play some bocce. Like, girl, get in there. Use the things that you've brought to enjoy.
That's so good. Anthea, thank you so much. I don't. Is there anything else that you want to say? I feel like you've got this wealth of stuff that you could keep saying. Is there anything else? Cutie.
I just want to say thank you.
No, thank you. It's been a great chat.
it's been lovely. It's an absolute honour to be asked to do this. So thank you so much. And again, if anybody's looking for a celebrant, definitely Pete's your man.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
No,
thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Now, how can people get in contact with you, with the farm? How do people connect? Instagram, or everything?
Yeah, so Instagram's easy. It's literally just the Farm Yarra Valley. Website is the Farm Yarra Valley. Facebook's the Farm Yarra Valley. We're real easy to find. Just send through an inquiry. You can message us on Instagram, or you go directly through the website, which is easiest. And because I am the only one, it comes directly through to me. So you'll be dealing with me anyway.
People know who they're talking to.
Yeah, you don't have a choice though. It's me or no one.
They're going to love it. I'll love it. Oh, cool. Anthea, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing all this incredible advice. Please get in contact with Anthea and the farm. If you're looking for a venue, look no further. You've found it. Fantastic.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Anthea. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a fantastic day, evening, and wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.